The United States has always opened its arms to the huddled masses of Irish men and women who have left their native land for a better life, and most have repaid this hospitality many times over. 23 of the 46 presidents of America claim Irish descent. The first man on the moon, Neil Armstrong's ancestors, came from Fairman and Tyrone. In the world of business, Henry Ford, the inventor of the modern assembly line, considered himself both an American and a West Cork man. When you think of the Irish in America, an iconic image is the cops who pounded the beat of New York and other major American cities such as Boston and Chicago. However, an unsavoury side to the Irish in America has always been on the rise, many of whom became America's most wanted criminals. Vincent Coll was born Eugene O'Connor on July 20th, 1908, in the Irish-speaking parish of Gweedore, a beautiful but impoverished region of County Donegal, whose biggest industry was immigration. Coll's parents decided to leave for America in 1909, and they settled with a one-year-old Vincent in the Irish enclave of the Bronx in New York. A difficult child, Coll was constantly in trouble, and he was expelled from several local Catholic schools before he even reached his teens. He had left formal education for another form of learning, that of the art of crime, with a local gang called the Gophers, led by Owen E. Madden. While school books had shown no attraction, Coll was a fast learner in the art of crime, and he became to the attention of the established gangster, Dutch Schultz. In the violent, poverty-stricken era of 1920s, Coll was not afraid to do whatever it took to rise to the top. His aggressive and violent personality made him a man to be feared, and his willingness to murder to get what he wanted made him a trusted lieutenant of Schultz. He became one of the Prohibition era's most fierce enforcers. As the body count rose, the authorities started to take a keen interest in Coll. In 1927, at just 19, Vincent Coll was accused of the murder of a speakeasy owner who refused to sell Schultz blood alcohol. Coll was found not guilty and acquitted. Vincent showed no remorse. In fact, he now felt invincible. Out of control, Coll became freelance and robbed the Sheffield Farms dairy in the Bronx without Schultz's authorization. When the two men next met, Schultz reminded Coll he could only operate with his permission. Coll told Schultz that he had helped build his empire, and rather than apologize, he demanded to be made his partner. While Coll was a violent man and not to be messed with, Schultz was on a different level of viciousness. Vincent had made a major mistake, and a paranoid and ruthless enemy. Coll had no friends in the underworld due to his lucrative sideline of kidnapping other gangsters and holding them for ransom. Whilst undoubtedly psychotic, Coll was no fool. He knew his victims would not report their kidnapping because of the underworld's code of silence. Also, any free gangster would have a hard time explaining to the authorities where the ransom money that they had paid came from. Coll was now a marked and isolated figure, and the final break with Schultz came in January 1931. Vincent was arrested and Schultz put up the bail money. Coll failed to attend his trial, and the money was forfeited. Coll refused to pay back Schultz, and they both went to war. It was also in 1931 that Vincent obtained the nickname he is best known by, Mad Dog. On July 28, 1931, Coll attempted to kidnap Joey Rao, a major Schultz lieutenant. The attempt failed, and in the ongoing gun battle on a public street, a 5-year-old child, Michelin Vangeli, was killed, and several other children were wounded. Because of this incident, the New York mayor at the time, James Jimmy Walker, called Coll a Mad Dog, and the nickname made for the great headlines and stuck to this very day. Coll was arrested for the crime but was acquitted in a bizarre trial. Vincent's lawyer was the famous defense attorney Samuel Lebouts, much used by the gangster fraternity and for no good reason. Lebouts managed to destroy the credibility of the prosecution's main witness. Coll walked free in December 1931. Coll did not learn his lesson, and even while awaiting trial, he embarked on what would be his final fatal mistake: the attempted murder of Charles Lucky Luciano, one of the most powerful gangsters in America. Vincent was hired by the New York Godfather, Salvatore Maranzo, who, despite being the most powerful mobster in the city, feared Luciano would kill him and take over his business. It seems paranoia was not just restricted to Schultz. Coll, despite the risks, readily agreed to murder Luciano for the total sum of $50,000. On September 10, 1931, Maranzo called Luciano to a meeting at his office. The plan was for Coll to arrive later and kill Luciano during the meeting. Luciano, who had a wide network of informers, had learned of the plot against his life and decided to act first. He sent his own men, who killed Maranzo before Coll turned up. The fleeing assassins saw Coll arriving and informed Luciano he must be the intended hitman. This sealed Vincent's fate. Luciano would go for Coll's old friend, Owen Madden, now boss of the Irish criminal syndicate in Hell's Kitchen, to place a $50,000 bounty on Coll's head. Two violent hitmen, Leonard Sagani and Anthony Fabrizio, accepted Madden's bounty and the hunt for Cole began. Acting on a tip-off, the two burst into a Bronx apartment where they believed Cole was hiding. They found 6 people there. Not knowing Cole by sight, they decided to shoot everyone. In a bloodbath, 3 died and 3 hung to life, but Vincent was not among them. He was delayed elsewhere and arrived after the shooting. The authorities informed the mob that this bloodshed had to end. A few days later, Cole received word that Madden, whom he trusted from his Gopher days, wanted to speak with him. Cole was informed Madden had worked out a settlement between all the gangs that would make everyone happy. A meeting was arranged in Hell's Kitchen, where he would be safe because the neighbourhood was under Madden's protection. To ensure Cole would be recognised by his assassin, Dutch Schultz arranged for Abraham Weinberg to go with Scanani and Fabrizio, as Weinberg and Cole had worked together under Schultz. On February 8th, as arranged, Cole entered the phone booth in a London chemist drugstore at 314th West 23rd Street at 8th Avenue and placed the call to own Madden to discuss the truce. Weinberg identified Cole and the 2 hitmen stepped out to murder Vincent. Only one assassin, Scarni, entered the drugstore. Fabrizio and Weinberg waited on the sidewalk. Police reports later detailed that as Scarni passed cashier George Scott, who was waiting on a customer at Dr. Leo Katz, he turned to Scott and quietly said, "Keep cool now." Scanari had a submachine gun hidden under his overcoat, and he approached the phone booth and drew this and fired. Scarni checked Cole was dead, then calmly placed the gun under his coat and turned to walk out of the drugstore. Passing the 2 witnesses, Scott and Katz, he turned to them and raised a finger to his lips and made a shush motion. He left the store and rejoined Weinberg and Fabrizio, and all 3 sped off into 8th Avenue traffic. The hit on Mad Dog had lasted less than 90 seconds. The coroner's report reveals that while a total of 15 bullets were removed from Cole's body, it appeared that many more had passed through him. No one was ever arrested for Vincent Cole's death. Dutch Schultz and Owen Madden sent a wreath to Cole's funeral, bearing a banner with the message, "From the boys." So ended the violent and notorious life of Vincent Mad Dog Cole at the age of just 23 years of age.